lies, relapses, late night calls, therapist, detox, emotional brawls. I've lived through chaos, tears, and gaslighting, blame, and now I've turned it into a podcast game.
So today's theme is trying to hold it all together while everything else is falling apart. And my guest today is my dear friend Beth, who I am so grateful to have you with us today. I call you the wife of an addict, mom, pet rescue volunteer, and all-around warrior, because that is what you are. You and I have been friends for a long time. We met doing pet rescue stuff and didn't realize that we had so much in common with our spouses. I know from our relationship that you are a mom, that you try and juggle a life and a family and a husband and children and just have so much on your plate. And I think you understand also the exhaustion and the fear and the shame and the hope and the resentment and the whole buffet of being married to somebody who's an addict. And we've talked about this at length. So I'm going to turn it over to you because I don't know the full story. So today you kind of get to tell it in your own words. Okay. And we'll talk about it from there.
Okay.
Welcome, Beth.
Let's see. So I have to say, having an addict in my life started from the day I was born because my father was an alcoholic right up until I was 16. So you would think I would know all the signs, right? I do, but ignored them. And then seeing my dad deal with that, but he recovered, thankfully. And then I was with my son's father for a very long time, and he died of a drug overdose. And we did not know that he was even using drugs. So that came as a shocker. And then after I slowly was able to go out and be with friends after that tragedy, I had asked one of his friends to go out for my birthday. Mm-hmm. It is my current husband's older brother. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't like him and honestly couldn't stand my husband at the time, like I would walk into a bar or restaurant anywhere. If I saw my husband there, I would leave because I couldn't stand him. And I didn't really know much about him. It was just the aura he brought. Like it just wasn't my vibe. And his brother definitely wasn't my vibe, but I felt bad for him. And I was like, I need people to go down to the city and I need a designated driver. So let's invite his brother. And of course he brings my husband along. So I agreed. I'm like, it's fine. We went out. I drank too much. And my current husband, was the one holding my hair back. So I'm like, I thought I hated this guy all these years. And what a great guy he is. So I'm like, I must have just totally been like reading the cover of the book, but not the inside. So I was like, maybe I should give him a chance. So we talked a little bit on the phone. I was like, you know what? I don't really know if I'm ready to date, but I was like, if you can find out where I live within the next half hour and knock on my door, I'll go on a date with you. Sure enough, knock, knock, knock on my door. My son answers the door and it was like, oh yay, a friend comes in, plays house with my son, hide and seek, yada, yada. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. And he moved in very quickly. I lived in the village. And then we had Piper and everything seemed okay, but the signs were there. And I did leave once while I was pregnant. Well, I kicked him out. It was my house. So
let me stop you for a second. What signs were there?
Not coming home.
Yeah.
Not answering his phone. Deleting all text message. Not that I was even snooping. I'm like, it's too early in the game. I'm not snooping through somebody's phone. And I'm too old and pregnant to be doing that. I was looking for something. But I'm like, hey, that text is gone. And I'm like, who deletes every single text out of their phone? And then I was just nonchalantly said, hey, you're super weird. Why do you delete all your texts? And instantly defensive. I'm like, anybody that has done nothing wrong would be like, hey, that's just what I do. The texts are overwhelming, whatever. But just got defensive. Why are you snooping through my phone? I'm like, unpleasant. I was looking for maybe an address, a phone number. I don't know what I was looking for, but it was something totally innocent. And then it turned in. So then I had Piper. Like I had kicked him out, but then we kind of smoothed things over. My parents ended up getting super sick in the mix of all this, and I ended up having to move back to their house and built an apartment. So I built an apartment in the downstairs so they didn't have to use steps. And me, Nick, Aiden, and then Piper, being just born, had lived upstairs. So I could, and my mom had passed away in the meantime, like in between all of this. So then it turned into like, hey, I'm going out for Halloween with my friends. Well, can I come? No, you need to stay home and take care of the baby. I'm like, my dad can do that. I have a babysitter. I have a sister. No, it's just me and my friends. But then it's like, you see, social media says a whole lot of nonsense. Like, you could see people are tagged or messages, and then friends are sending me stuff they saw where it says like, hey, don't tell back. But I'm like, this is very shady. So all the signs again are there, and I'm choosing to ignore them, even though in the back of my head I probably was like, I know exactly what this guy is doing, because then he's taking like many days after he gets home to like actually contact me again. But we have a new baby,
Right?
Like, we live together, but now you're choosing to stay at your parents'. It was very weird. So things seemed to have gotten better than they were. And my dad then was terminally ill. My husband was stellar with, taking care of my father like a true CNA would do, like did everything. So because I was my dad's full-time nurse. So it was me, but if I needed a break, he was toileting him, showering him, whatever he had to do. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're over this rough patch. And I don't know another man that would do this for his father-in-law. And then I got pregnant with Willow, and we had done a small wedding before so my dad could walk me down the aisle, because that's all he wanted to do. So it's a very small, intimate thing. And then he made me promise to have a big wedding later. So we did. And we went, it was in Poughkeepsie. We went down to the river to do pictures. They were totally late. His whole groomsmen party, had bottles of liquor, but I could see something wasn't right. Why? Because my husband's not holding a drink or anything with the rest of the guys. He's sitting there with huge pupils, and I'm like, this is going to be the worst wedding of my life. I'm pregnant. I certainly can't drink it away, and I'm not even a big drinker, but he's high as a kite, and it's our wedding day. Is this just I've known this all along, and here I am getting married to somebody, and I'm like, and they have to be high to get married to me? That was the thought in my head. I'm taking it as an insult. I'm like, is my dress ugly? Is my hair ugly? What's wrong with me? I don't even look pregnant, so it's not that I'm fat. I don't know what's wrong. So the wedding passes, and I actually never mentioned it to him. Even though every picture I look at, I can tell. I never mentioned it to him, because I was like, you know what? What am I going to say and do? I'm not going to jinx myself. Years pass, and it's many years of 2 or 3 weeks of coming home high from work or wherever, me losing my mind, me kicking him out, or me not kicking him out. But it was scattered. And I'm sure there's many times in between I didn't even notice, because maybe I was in bed early, and he would leave for work super early. So there could have been times I didn't even know. And it was horrible, because my kids figured it out. My kids are not stupid. Especially, my son is 20. Obviously, anything is very clear to him.
And it's not his father.
No. And he would get angry at him, but also angry at me. And I couldn't figure out, why on earth is this kid always angry at me? He loved me. He still called me mommy, would still say I love you. But you could tell there was just something there. Last year, fast forward, it was just here and there, back and forth. He would be clean for months and months and months. All the promises, I'm never going to do this again. You and the kids mean the world to me. I can't lose you. I have nothing. Me reaching out to his mother telling me I'm being ridiculous. Her son would never do that. Or, and then there came a point where he admitted it to her. but she would make excuses for it. Well, he's doing it because of you. He's doing it because of the kids. He's doing it because his life is stressful. I'm like, okay, this is not going anywhere. So last year, his cousin gets out of jail. And his cousin doesn't have a license. But they haven't seen each other in like 13 years. And they used to be very close. And a rift happened in the family, separated them. And now their work days are getting longer now that he's driving this cousin to work and driving him home. They're sometimes overnight. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's never happened. And then it started again. But now it was daily or weekly and sleepless nights and where's dad? And finally I was like, you know what? Call him and ask him. FaceTime him and ask him. You guys are not stupid. And I don't need to sit here and make excuses anymore. And I'm like, I really think you should know, because don't ever put yourself in a situation I'm in, because it's a living hell. It was just rigorous, and it took, Thanksgiving was ruined completely. And that's when my son lost it. And the words that really stuck with me is I ended up leaving the house. I was like, I need to go for a ride. You're not acting right. And I don't even need to tell you where I'm going. I was actually going to my family's grave to just clean up their grave. Took the long way to Millbrook. He decides he's going to chase me down because he's not in his right mind. Guess what? Slams into a tree and totals his truck. Makes it home, but then my sister's calling me, my son's calling me, he's calling me, and I'm not picking up my phone because I don't want to hear from anybody. Then finally I get a text from him, and he's like, I totaled my truck. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not even believing you. It's a ploy to get me home. You've done it before. Then I got a call from my sister. She said, really, he did. And then she ended up getting bit by my dog because of the whole situation. And I went home. He did total his truck. I'm like, it's because you are on drugs, trying to chase me down for no reason. I'm not going anywhere. And my son told him he had to leave. He had to leave. And I had to bring my sister to the emergency room from being bit. And my son kept calling me saying he's not leaving. And I'm like, I sent a simple text. You need to just go stay in your truck, stay out of the house. You're making Aiden upset. He did. But my son didn't feel comfortable with him even in the yard. So I said, please don't call the cops. Let me come home. Let me try to figure this out. And I'll figure out what we have to do. I get home, and of course he comes inside. And my son said, I'm packing my stuff. I don't want anybody to contact me. I won't contact anybody again. The only way I want you to contact me is when my mother is dead. And I'm like, why would I die? And he's like, you don't think I saw him? He choked me when he was high one night. Choked me, couldn't breathe, didn't know what he was doing. And he's like, you don't think I knew what was going on? He's like, I opened the door and slammed it so he'd stop. He's like, he's going to kill you. And he's like, and if he doesn't kill you physically, he's going to kill you from the stress and emotional abuse and financial neglect and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he's right. He's 100% right. So I was like, you got to get out. I'm not picking anybody over my kids. I don't care who it is. Nobody comes before them.
Hold on. Something happened. Hold on. 1 second. Something happened. The screen went black. Wow.
That's on her end.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's on my end?
Yeah. Screen's black. Oh, there you go. You're back. Now you're back.
I don't know what came up there.
Just go right to where your son, we get just where he said he's either going to kill you emotionally, physically or emotionally.
Okay.
And then as soon as you're done with this, I'm going to jump in.
So then at that point, we kicked him out, threw furniture in front of the door, and he was gone for a few days. But it continued. It did continue. Ruined our Christmas. Almost cost me some of my volunteer jobs because of some shady stuff he was doing. Finally, I think it was May was the last time he used that I'm aware of. I haven't seen any signs that he has used since then, but he almost was facing jail time. And guess who rescued him? Like a complete moron.
Don't call yourself a moron. We've all been there.
But in my head, I was thinking maybe he should have went and he would have had to be sober. I mean, thankfully, knock on wood, I think he's done all right. But at the end of the day, he said, I'm not an addict because I'm not doing it anymore. I'm like, but you always are because you once were. And if you were recovering, you would say, I'm always going to be an addict. It's always going to be a struggle, but I've been clean. But all I'm hearing is, I'm not an addict. I don't do drugs. I'm like, okay.
So your significant other, spouse, husband, has been supposedly clean since May.
Supposedly.
I have a whole bunch of questions.
Yes, go for it.
What does every day feel like for you? Do you feel like you trust him or that you live in anxiety?
My anxiety is so bad. It's so bad. There's no trust. And I've made that very clear. There will never, ever, ever be a day that I will trust you. Never. Because there's been 14 years of just lie after lie after lie to cover up a lie. So I said, there's no way. And I was talking to a therapist one time and they said, if they have lied to you for 13 years, it's going to take double that to at least earn an ounce of it back. So at least 26 years to even earn a little bit of trust back. I'm like, then there's never, he still lies. Not about the drug stuff, but there's still the lying part. And it's about the littlest, tiniest things. It could be the silliest things, and he will lie. And I'm like, so I definitely don't trust you. But even whenever he is, and I hate to say it sounds crazy to me, whenever he goes somewhere, I always feel like he's doing something wrong. And not most of the time I don't question it, but if he's taking a little longer or the locations went off on his phone or whatever, it's like, why am I worried about this? I am a grown woman. I can take care of myself in every way, shape, and form. And my children, if he were to up and vanish, I would still be okay.
Yep.
But the anxiety is horrible. It is some days where it's like, okay, yep, we're not getting out of bed tonight. You were 30 minutes late and there's no reason. I don't know where you were. What you're saying is not truthful. So now tomorrow my day is going to be shot because of so much anxiety.
But you know what? I know that anxiety. I have felt the anxiety. I have turned on the location finder, or he's turned it on before he's left the house, and it magically goes off by itself.
Yep.
The time it took will be extended because magically there was many lights on the way home. So I understand. And I guess, we've had this conversation many times, and my questions are never about finality or about decisions, but out of just pure curiosity about why do you stay? With the knot in your stomach and the sleepless nights, what is your reason for staying? I know what mine was.
So I would love to say it's my children, and that probably is part of it, because when I've kicked him out or I was going to file for divorce, the tears flowed for my kids. I don't even think that's what it is. It's the person he is when he isn't doing that stuff. But now that he's a little cranky more often. I have to be honest. I'm like, if you're always as nice as you are when you're high, we would be amazing, because you are the nicest person. You will do whatever I say because you think I'm not going to find out what you just did.
Right.
But I said, and now that you don't do it, you're grumpy.
The games that they play when they don't want to be called out.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to be caught.
Yeah.
And I get that, right? I get I also get I was telling somebody yesterday that I keep videos on my phone of when my husband and I were at our happiest. And I would watch them and I would say, someday this person's going to come back. Yeah. Someday this version of my husband is going to come back. And in my case, the addiction just took him further and further and further from that person. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember sending him text messages with those videos saying, not even saying anything, just sending the video. And he would write back and say, he's coming back. And I hung on to that, right? I hung on to the person that he was when he wasn't loaded, in my case, the person who was sober, in my case. And those were some of my reasons for
Yeah.
staying. I want to ask you, you're different than I am. I don't have children. How do you maintain some form of stability or some kind of normalcy for your kids?
So, you know what? My son plays a big part in that because he's old enough to watch them. So there's always, things do get crazy, of course. Like, if he's coming home and he's not right and I have to kick him out, I mean, I can't ignore it. Because what if, my fear has always been, and I've always said it to him, what if you're not thinking straight and you go do cocaine on my kitchen sink and one of the kids walks in and puts their hand on the sink? I was like, they're going to pick it up. He's like, no, they won't. They didn't snort it or lick it. I'm like, have you ever heard of transdermal? They will.
Just the fact that we're having the conversation about we're snorting cocaine on the kitchen sink and we have children in the house. Like, let's just have a moment of clarity for just a moment. Like, we're snorting cocaine on the kitchen sink and we're going to try and find a way to justify that behavior with our children and make that okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the loco that we deal with. This is the crazy that we deal with. I mean, this is in the same vein as that. How much do you think they know? What do you tell them and what do you not tell them? And what do is there a line? I mean, you've got young children, you've got older children. I mean, take your older son out of the equation, but with the younger two, like, I'm assuming they're not stupid. They're perceptive kids.
Yeah, they're not. And I mean, school, they learn a whole lot. So, I mean, and they know, wow, dad is being so nice. Like, for a long period of time, there's something going on. And they've asked me, and finally it was to the point, I'm like, have you learned about drugs in school? Like, I really don't even know what to say anymore. They're like, yup. And I'm like, all right, whatever you learned, think about it, and then look at your father. I don't really know what to say because I can't lie to you anymore. And it was getting to the point where he would be like, well, mommy's kicking me out. Like, this is mommy's being mean. And I'm like, you're making me look like a villain because I'm protecting them.
Right. And this is typical gaslighting.
Yep.
This is typical manipulation. This is the shit that we deal with, right? Like, we're the bad guys.
Yep.
And that's just from me to you. Let yourself off that hook, because that's not okay.
No, it's not. And you know what? I have Piper, who's the people pleaser, so she will be like, I love, and and they do love us both. I'm not going to say that. Is he a great father? Absolutely. Like, I would never take that from him. When he has been totally sober, totally normal, he is a wonderful father. Would he give the shirt off his back to anybody? Absolutely. And these are probably the things I hold on to. Would he do anything in the world for me? Absolutely. I mean, look at my zoo. He doesn't even like animals, but he's the one that's, I'm tired, I'm in bed, and he's like, fed the pigs, fed the 6 dogs, the snake, the chinchillas, the rat, they're all taken care of. So it's like, I feel like I got the golden ticket with those things. But then it's like, then I got this.
Right.
Like, and this is not, and I'm like, you knew I grew up with an alcoholic. That's an addiction. That was a living hell. And you think I learned after what my mother went through. Like, and I didn't. I clearly didn't.
Do you ever think that choice was subconsciously, was there some kind of subconscious, like, this is familiar. I know this behavior. I understand this behavior. I can fix this behavior.
I think so, especially the fix it part. And also the fact that my dad did get sober. It took a triple bypass and 3 months in the hospital, but the man got sober. And in my head, I think, it's only a matter of time. He's going to be sober. He's going to be sober, and he's going to stay sober, and everything's going to be amazing. But every day, it's like, is today the day that he's not? and that I lose it. I mean, I'm pretty bad with like at least once a week. I'm like, I have to just whisper to him, drugs ruin families. Like if he's being mean, and I'm like, I'm probably instigating. But he's like, why do you always bring this up? I'm like, I don't know. I had to deal with it for 13 years, and this is my petty asshole way to just, I'm not going to go out and do drugs. I don't do drugs. So it's not like I can say, I'm going to get back at you and go and do drugs so you know how it feels. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to whisper these sweet nothings in your ear. And maybe it'll make me feel better. It doesn't. But I'm like, maybe
So let me ask you a couple questions that are just quick fire. Give me your short version answer. What do you wish people in your life or people that you're around understood about loving an addict?
it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. Would I ever do it again? Absolutely effing not. Never again. I would never do this again.
What is something well-meaning people say that make you want to scream?
Why don't you just leave? Maybe you're the reason he keeps doing it because you keep allowing it to happen. You keep allowing it to happen.
It's interesting that you say that. It's very easy for people on the outside to have that opinion, right? That just leave, pack up your stuff. It continues to happen because it's a really hard life making this choice to be married to somebody with an addiction. And I'm here to support and say that staying is not some easy choice that we make, and leaving is not some easy choice that we don't make. Whether it's our children, other people, your children keep you in the marriage, or you hope this person's going to change, or you believe the promises, you want desperately to believe the promises. In my case, it was as long as I got a few crumbs along the way, I stayed. Not a lot of action. There was a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So I validate that and I hear that, and it's not easy. What would you tell somebody who's in the middle of you're in the middle of it. What would you tell somebody else who's in the middle of this right now?
That's hard to say because I can't even tell myself what to do. It seems like. I would like to say it gets better, but I don't know if it gets better. Because you're never going to know if it gets better because any day they can relapse. I guess you just have to make sure you protect yourself and your kids, whether you stay or you leave. You have to think from a business perspective, an emotional perspective,
A financial perspective.
you have to have all your ducks in a row, whether you stay or you leave. Like me, we had a joint bank account. I now have a separate bank account because I needed to pay bills. And I was like, our bank accounts are getting drained. So I would go into his account and transfer it over to my account that he couldn't get in to make sure those certain bills were paid. But did he know about it? Yeah, I wasn't stealing it. I would tell him after I did it.
But these are the things you need to do to protect your home, your life, your children. These are the things you have to do, right?
Yeah.
What's the support system, if any, that you have in your life right now?
So I have my kids and my pets. My pets are they're everything. They're everything. I have my sister, my nephew, who are always there. I do not by my nephew, never by my nephew. I sort of feel judged sometimes by my sister, and it's nothing intentional. She's my older sister and she wants to protect me. I do feel judged sometimes, and I love her dearly. She's just more abrasive than me, I think, from the way she comes off. But she is always there for me. And I have her fiance, too, who's, they live 5 minutes from me. So I have stayed at their house plenty of times. Just because I was like, me and the kids need somewhere to go, and I'm not paying for a hotel room tonight.
Have you found help and have you found support in therapy?
You know what? Yes and no. I felt like it was the same. Well, we're going to teach you strategies to deal with your anxiety. Well, me breathing in and out is not going to help me at this point, Martha. Me chewing gum, I'm sorry. That's not where I'm at in life.
It's okay. I went to therapy hoping the therapist would tell him it was all his fault and I was perfect. So trust me, been there, done that, got that t-shirt too. I just want to say how much I admire you,
Same.
how much I love you,
I love you too.
how much I support you.
Same
I
here.
know that, and look, I know your spouse and I love him too. Suffering from an addiction is no easy ride, and living with somebody with an addiction a is a ride I wouldn't wish on anybody, right? But
Right.
these are the paths that we've chosen,
Yep.
and we're in slightly different situations are where we are today. I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not weak. And you're just carrying baggage that no one else sees. And I see you. And I am so grateful that you were a part of today's conversation. I think that it is so important that everyone hears from people like you and I, and you especially, that you can be a mom and you can be a wife and you can have all these hobbies and projects on the side and somehow still hold it all together and carry this incredible burden of never knowing if tomorrow the bottom's going to drop out. And that's a scary, I get that and I hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm here on your journey and I love you.
I love you
And
too.
thank you so much for being a part of my podcast and for
Thank
having
you.
the courage to share your story.
Thank you. You're
It's
doing incredible things. And this is the first time I have not cried talking about it because I'm talking to somebody that's not judging me.
you
And
know
he's going
that
to
you're
make me laugh.
never judged in this space. There's no judgment in this place. Trust me, I got enough crazy stories that I got no place to judge. I love you. Thank you so
I
much for
love
being a part
you.
of this.
Lies, relapses, late night calls, therapist detox, emotional brawls. I've lived through chaos, tears, and gaslighting blame, and now I've turned it into a podcast game.